Like, so what? You've been making beats for a while,
I've been making beats since I was in middle school, man.
Yeah.
I started making beats on
And you
MTV.
say you went to McNichol, right?
Yeah, I went to McNichol, man. I started making beats in 6th grade on MTV Music Generator. It was a video game that came out on PlayStation 2.
Right.
And you could make beats on it. So I started making beats on that, and
Right.
that developed everything. I had memory cards full of beats back then. I would just make beats, up all night making beats and going to school.
Right.
So that shit started.
So you always knew music.
Yeah, like my dad was a DJ, so it was like,
damn.
Yeah, like I already like it was part of me.
Like he was into like sticking, like he was Broward, like.
Nah, like my dad Jamaican, so like
okay.
My dad was like a reggae DJ,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? But he also like was a dancer and everything too, so like music was part of just me growing up, like everyday shit. That wasn't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like every day my dad was playing music. On Sundays during the weekend, my house, everybody knew, yo, you could hear Carl's house from down the block.
Right.
Because my dad would be from 8 a.m. Blasting music, cleaning, cooking, all weekend, you know what I'm saying? And then all week we chilling until nighttime. He played some music for an hour, but yeah, music's always been it, man. That was like always the love.
That's crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? That was like the first love of my life was music, really.
Damn, man. Like your dad was a DJ, like that's what he did.
Yeah, like he was he had a job, but like he was a reggae DJ, like known. Yeah, like he was a known. Yeah, like he used to. I don't know if you know about the Stinger Lounge, but back in the day, it's right here. It's still open. It's not called the Stinger Lounge no more, but it was on Miramar Parkway and 441.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's a different name.
It's a different name now. So he used to, when it used to be called Stinger Lounge, he used to be there every weekend DJing. Like I used to be, like I was a jit.
Right.
And he'd be like, "Hey, I'm going to the club. Don't let nobody in the house," type shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be at the crib, and he'd be out at the Stinger Lounge all night, and I wake up in the morning. He'd be back by the time I wake up. You know what I'm saying? But he'd be there all night, 2, 3 in the morning on the weekends. This is when I was a kid. This is when I was in like elementary school, middle school, you know what I'm saying? And then he stopped, like when I was in like 8th grade is when he kind of stopped doing the DJ shit, because dancehall music started to give away, I guess you could say, at that point.
Yeah. Or people paying to hear it in clubs.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't doing the DJ shit, wasn't as big basically for him. And then reggae music changed. It went from the shit he was doing. Cause my dad was in there when it was dance hall, but like the early dance hall, and then like once it started getting to like the real aggressive dance hall shit, Stinger Lounge wasn't popping because it was a lot of older people. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't listening to that. They were listening to the old school reggae shit, and you know, club just didn't survive. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now. He just said fuck it, and it wasn't like it was like his main job anyway, but it was just something he loved to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He always told me, like, if you love to do that shit, you know, do it if you have the opportunity. So that's why I'm doing it.
So not to make a long story short, cause like this shit not easy.
I mean,
you know that.
I mean, I look at it like this. You know what? Like, only reason I could say for me why it's not the hardest thing, and other people would tell me, bro, this shit ain't easy. I don't know how you make it look easy. I self-taught. I didn't go to school for this.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So I taught myself how to do everything, down from Pro Tools to making beats on different platforms. So I don't think I never looked at it as hard. I just looked at it as I'm gonna learn how to do this.
But you never looked at it as easy anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Never looked at it. It didn't matter whether it was easy or hard. You was gonna do it regardless.
I was gonna do it regardless.
Right.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure out how to get this shit done, regardless if it's easy or hard. I'm gonna do it because that's what I want to do. You feel what I'm saying? So like, I never got into that mind frame. And it's now that I've been doing it for a while that when people see me do shit and they're like, bro, how you did that so quick? And I'm looking at it like, it's nothing. Like, I'm like, bro, I do this in my sleep. But then I realized, like, bro, I got my 10,000 hours in. Like, I've been doing this shit. I got 20,000 hours in probably now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why, to me, it's second nature. Whereas to other people, when they see it, they literally be like, bro, how? Right. Like, what did you do to make that happen? And to me, it's like, that's a simple couple of keystrokes. But in reality, it's also the 20,000 hours I put in. My ears are already trained to know what I'm looking for and what I'm listening for.
So like, okay, so now we, you know, you growing up, obviously doing your thing, and then and just like what you, not necessarily just about you, but what do you see as like the Broward, not even as localized, Florida, United States as a whole, and how we fit into the picture in our respective regions. What do you can you compare like what you seen then and now, and where you kind of fill in, and what you've seen the lack of?
Well, I will say this, right? So like when I started music, like it wasn't no Florida wasn't like what it is now. Whereas like we were East Coast. Even though now we consider the South, back then it was we were East Coast. You know what I'm saying? So like at that point, like when I first started really getting into it, it was a little different. As time progressed, I feel like the South became so dominant, even up to now, where the South is pretty much running music, like literally, not just hip hop music, just music in general.
Right.
The South is running it. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like that influence didn't really come from. There's some influence from down here. I'm not gonna say there isn't any, but most of the influence from down here is like not all. I'm not gonna say not all positive, but it's just like some of the like a lot of the Southern influence is Atlanta, is Memphis, is Texas. It's not a lot of Florida. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we got left out because we got caught. Like everybody looked at us and was like, "Them boys that they down there booty shaking." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was Uncle Luke, and you know what I'm saying? So like everybody was like, "Oh, them boys down there booty shaking." So nobody was listening to early Trick. Mm-hmm. Nobody was listening to, you know what I'm saying, all the real legends from down here, you know what I'm saying? So like that's why they didn't make that big of a stamp. Yeah. And that's why like we have a gatekeeper mentality down here, where it's like a lot of the big artists who get on down here, first of all, ain't even here no more. They don't even live in Florida. Mm-hmm. But they gatekeepers for Florida, and they make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because how can you not even live here and be a gatekeeper? You can't tell me that makes sense. If you can't, you gotta be here.
You got name drop, bro.
I mean, bro, come on, like there's a couple of different artists who big as fuck.
What you talking about, T-Pain?
So T-Pain, he
from Tallahassee.
He from Tallahassee. He represent Tallahassee, yes.
Now, what I like, because I lived in Tallahassee, he has a center, like a community center that's run and operated by him in the South Side. I say that.
And I respect that. Look, a lot of artists do give back to the communities, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people look past that. But like a big gatekeeper, there's two of them down here. First of all, Khaled was the first one.
But like, so do you mean gatekeeper like official like people, or you mean socially, like because nobody was able to really break that surface, and there's been so many talented and well-developed artists down here that we don't want, the bar is so high you don't even want a person to break through?
Nah, I think what it is it's more of a because I feel like there's a lot of talent down here. And there's a lot of people that should have broken through a long time ago or should break through soon. But I feel like there's certain people in the way of that because they control the narrative of Florida. They control the narrative of what you're going to listen to and what's popping.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Because there's certain artists that I see that get big and I'm like, that nigga's trash. Like, I'm not going to even sit here and pretend like, nah, that boy trash. But he's blowing up because he got the right people behind him. Right. He got the right marketing team. He got the right, you know what I'm saying? Which makes sense. You got the look, all that. You're gonna get the eyes on you. But here's the problem. Florida's a lot of microwave, so it's like you got a lot of people who get that shine, they get them eyes on them, and then in 2 months you forget about them.
Quick.
They be gone.
They be gone quick.
They be gone quick as hell.
And we don't have that's what I'm saying. Like I was just talking about that the other day. We don't have like no actual like Florida. Like when you name Florida, if you want to say maybe you could say Trick, you can say Uncle Luke, you can say Trick,
say
Rick Ross, and you can maybe throw Kodak in nowadays.
Now you could throw in Kodak, but here's the funny thing.
That's the what? That's it for Florida. Like that's
it. And that's horrible.
for the whole history.
Yeah, for the whole history. You see what I'm saying?
People really broke like platinums.
Nah, bro. See, and people forget. Like, okay, I feel you. Trick is definitely a gatekeeper. Like, not gatekeeper, one of the OGs. He's not a gatekeeper, but he's definitely an OG.
Right.
So you got to give him that respect. Luke, you got to give him that respect. People forget about Trina. You got to give Trina. It wouldn't be no City Girls if it wasn't no Trina.
Trina for sure.
You feel what I'm saying? So like, you got to give her that respect. Cause listen, Trina saved Trick.
I fuck with Trina. Trina, I want to make a song with you. Trina for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Trina saved Trick. Cause I remember like Trick had a couple albums. It was popping. He was good, but like, man, when that nigga dropped,
right,
it was over. He took off.
Right.
And he got to thank Trina for that. But there's other like artists down here that never really got the big, like, everybody know Piccolo. Nobody down here don't know. Probably I'm talking about personally has met and talked to Piccolo. He's super talented, but he ain't getting his music ain't get out of Florida, and that's no disrespect to him. He's talented as fuck. But he had people around him in the era that he was popping that made sure he stayed in Florida.
So what is the, you know, I mean, not to spill all your game, but what is the missing element that you, because I know you in the pot right now. We in the pot. We doing stuff. Like, what's some of the game you can, you know, let people smell from the pot of, like, to do this shit? Like, how can you do it? Is what I'm saying. How can you? You have to leave. You have to leave and go get known somewhere else first.
See, I feel like as an artist, that's part of the problem only in Florida. Because I feel like in Florida, you have to leave, get a name, and because when you come back, everybody fucking with you. It's not the same when you go everywhere else.
No.
I went to Cali and it was love. Niggas ain't even know me. I played 2-3 beats and they're like, yo, who are you?
Yeah.
I can't do the same thing down here. I'll come here, I'll play beats. Niggas will know the beats fire and will literally tell me, hey bro, go to YouTube. Because they know at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna have to pay that man. And they don't want to pay that man. It's different. It's different down here than
but then it don't stop there. It don't start there and it don't stop there. It's the fucked up thing. Because it don't stop there all the way up the ladder of like them not maybe wanting to pay the shit. But then the consumer, it's certain, bro. Florida just different, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it's different down here.
Different.
It's a whole, everybody, like most people, I mean, I say everybody, a lot of people are, they don't think about working. So you asked me to give some game, and this is one game that I think that a lot of people don't do that I feel like should be the must. Don't be afraid to work with people, especially as a producer. Like, don't try to do it yourself. You can't. If you're an artist, be the best artist you are. Don't try to be your marketing team in your promotion team and be a producer and be doing, like, get people that do the good job at that.
Right.
Don't be scared to spend money on yourself because you have to invest in yourself. You feel what I'm saying? If you can't invest in yourself, stop. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and even pretend like if you can't invest into your music, there's no point for you to be putting out music.
That's real.
Like, there's no point. Like, if you can't put money behind it, don't put music out. I'm not saying don't create. Create. Yeah. Store up your music. Have it ready. But, like, don't put no shit out if you ain't got no money to invest into it.
That's game, you know.
Like, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even waste putting out a record. Because you wasting time when you put out a record and don't put nothing behind it. And I've done that.
Right.
I've put out so much music without nothing behind it. So I know that's not the way to go.
Right.
And then I seen the right way to do rollouts and watch people do it. And so I see like, oh, that's how you guys got this person on. And they ain't even that talented.
And they only did one or two songs.
Yeah. I know for a fact with the people I'm working with now, there's too much talent in the room. I know once 1 or 2 songs get out, like with the real push behind it and everything else get heard, they gonna think like where these niggas been at, and people don't realize there's a lot of dudes, a lot of people in Florida that got the talent. They just been blocked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be real. Ross a gatekeeper. Ross got a bunch of people that he could have been put on that got plenty talent, but they ain't been pushed like that.
Maybe he's not in the signing. Maybe he's not.
I mean, he's not. He's not into signing, but he could get people in position.
Right.
It's not about signing people.
Right.
It's not even about putting up his own money. It's about saying, hey, Jay, hey, this person. I know somebody who really got some talent. You need to go check them out. Simple as that. You ain't even got to put no money up. You ain't even got to tell the person that you're doing it for them.
Right.
They gonna find out.
No, I wanted you to say it, because at the end of the day, it's like real talk. I feel like it's as simple as like, yo, keep this person on your radar. You ain't even got to be no like, just watch if they consistent.
That's it.
Hey, just check them out. Just peep them out.
Exactly.
You feel me? Because then over time, but at the end of the day, hey, we got to do what we got to do to make that shit shake. You feel me? So it, you know.
It's just gotta make a plan. And then the last most important thing I tell everybody, bro, when it comes to, that's in life in general, but definitely with this music, when you make a plan, stick to the plan. Don't try to change the plan because of one failure or because something that change. Stick to your plan.
Right.
You stick to that plan, and guess what? You eventually it's gonna shake. You might not have the biggest success, or you might make the biggest success, but by you not doing your plan or you just stopping, you're failing. You're gonna fail, like, because you're not doing it. You're not trying. You know what I'm saying? You're automatically failing. Like, if you make a plan and you don't stick to it, you're failing. Like, because now you're gonna sit there and be like, why isn't shit happening? Because you're not sticking to your plan. You should stick to the plan. Eventually, even if you get it wrong the first couple times, you're gonna get it right. Because you're sticking to the plan. So just stick to y'all plan, man. Like, make a plan first, though.
Yeah.
And then that's the key. Make the plan. Don't go into it blind or broke. Straight up. Don't go into this shit blind or broke. You go into it blind or broke, you're wasting time. And be serious, man. Take this shit as serious as you can. Don't waste your own time. Don't go in the studio unless you're prepared. You know what I'm saying? Don't go into situations unless you know, like, you're taking it seriously. Like, I've seen a lot of people waste time in studios. Some people waste years in studios. I'm talking about years. I've seen people waste going into the studio, working on projects, and then right when the project's ready to go, say, I'm not ready to do this no more. I don't want to do it no more. And then you got to think about that's why I say you got to make sure you're serious, because if you ain't taking this serious and you got people around you who are serious about the craft, guess what happens? When you stop their motion too. Because they've been working. They've been putting in work with you. They've been growing. Even though you, in their mind, I'm serious about this. And then in your mind, you telling them I'm serious about this. But if your actions ain't showing that, and eventually you finally realize you ain't serious, you don't waste it, not just your time, but the people who was working with you time. You might have had producers, engineers, other people who might have been helping you go to the studio. Now they're like, damn, all them times I took you to the studio, that was for nothing.
Right.
The engineer's like, you booked all these sessions with me for nothing.
Right.
I recorded all this that you said you was finna mix, and now you ain't finna mix them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Little things like that, like, it affects people.
Space.
Yeah, now you're taking up space, and then in 6 months or a year later, when you like, oh, I'm re-inspired, I want to work, and you be like, where my music at? What you mean? Nigga, I had to make space. I got some serious artists in here.
Yeah.
Now they looking at you crazy like you did them wrong. Nah, bro.
Right.
It ain't even about that. Like, take this craft serious. You get in what you put in.
Right. That's real.
Straight up.
That's real. Brother, a pleasure always.
Definitely, bro.
Pleasure always. I didn't even get to all the other shit you be doing, but next time.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
For sure.
Cut that right there. Hey, man, that was good.